used to have bunkers spread out all along here, and there were a lot more trees then too. There were just trees everywhere. The actual field itself is only, like, the playable field is only about 2 acres. It was just big enough to have a good size capture the flag game. And the field was large enough to host a group of 60 or so people at a time, and that was just about right. I think bigger than that, I mean, we started to outgrow the field, unfortunately. We had 60 guys coming out at a time. I'm hoping that, within a year we'll get to that point again. Definitely a lot of memories working on the field, and the feeling of camaraderie, and just you would come out here and you would feel like the Lord's presence would be out here with you, and you could just walk through the field and you really felt like the Lord was walking with you. And just funny because there were a lot of guys that would come that were devout atheists. The first week I started building the field, one of the guys, actually the reason why I started the field, one of the guys showed up to help work on some of the bunkers, and he just out of the blue said, I think I want to be a Christian. And I said, what? You even know what that means? And he said, yeah, no, I think I want to be a Christian. And I said, really? I was shocked because I had never really pushed it. I never brought it up, hadn't really worked it into any conversations like, hey, what do you think about God or anything like that. And it's just really a testimony of how strong the Lord's presence was in the woods out here. And, I just was being obedient, following the Lord's leading, and I just really felt like he was telling me, hey, you need to start this ministry. And yeah, those guys are 8-7 years later, and those guys are still going strong. I mean, they're doing great things. They've got families and leading their families in faith, and it's great to see. Of course, that was all the Lord's doing. It's just really neat to think about, the Lord was in this field. His presence was here. And some of those guys just being around that, they didn't even know, but I feel like it was a real eye-opener, and it impacted them. I could tell it really impacted them to be in an environment where
You all right?
to be in an environment where God's presence was there with them. It really, some of those guys may not have even thought about it, but paintball doesn't bring people to Christ. The Lord uses paintball to bring people to Christ, and I really feel like the only thing that attracts people to this field, the only thing that attracted them to this field was the Lord's presence being in the woods. And I really feel like that's the only thing that's going to attract them to what we're trying to do, is just the Lord's presence being there. And it's not the paintball, it's not the airsoft, it's God, it's His presence, it's His Holy Spirit invites people. You just invite them to come, and they get here, and they just are surrounded with the Lord's presence, and you just love on them, and it's just amazing to see their hearts just change. It's weird, it's like, it's how we were designed, to be in the Lord's presence, and He can just speak to us. It's really amazing to see how somebody's heart can change without even saying anything. I keep saying this, this whole thing isn't about paintball. I'm just following the Lord's leading, and He's just telling me to do this, and I'll just do whatever He wants, If the Lord's presence is out here, He'll change people. So that's the only reason why I'm doing it. I want to see, people change. I want to see people walking in the presence of the Lord, like just walking with the Lord, and just to create an environment where we can do that. That's all I care about,
We'll be running through the night. It's brighter on the other side. Oh, something's bigger than